Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Riya Rajkumar. So those of you who don't know me, I am a medical student currently in third year, studying in Madras Medical College in Chennai. And this is my YouTube channel where I post my dance covers. I really like K-pop and dancing. And I also post stuff about my medical college life through vlogs and other videos. So a lot of you do like my medical college life videos. I guess you guys are all medical college aspirants and a lot of you requested more medical videos, so I thought this could be one of it that would interest all of you. Basically this is a Q&A video on medical college life, and I also took some random questions that you guys usually ask or are repeated questions. I recently put up a post for it and I got so many questions, so thank you so much. So let's get right away to answering those questions. Okay, so the first question. Hello, I'm really curious about the medical school life from the first day of your college till now. And how about a little talk about hostel life from your friends over there? I'm a NEET aspirant as I'm wishing to enter MMC. So please share as much as you can. And your videos are always an inspiration to me, as I am much interested in dance and medicine and a fellow army. A very big thumbs up to all your videos. I purple you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Okay, so from the first day of college till now, okay, that will be a lot, but I guess yeah, it has been quite interesting. Every year is always different. First year was when you get in, you're extremely new to the college, you're quite excited. There's dissection in the anatomy hall, which is like the major part of first year and something that you really look forward to, but you gradually get used to it. The dissection in anatomy hall is like one of my favorite memories. There are a lot of things like associated with it, and I would say along the time, first year, second year, third year, I guess I learned more how to manage the studies. Like initially it was quite a lot. It's like all of a sudden there was just too much to study, and there might be times when you don't know how to handle everything. First year might be messy a bit, maybe, it totally depends on you. It was like fine for me. It took me time to like get used to the routine, get myself to have a study routine, and manage all of that studying. But I think gradually it became well, improved a lot. Now I don't feel that burdened. I mean, of course during exam times it is like that, but I feel like it's been quite a good journey till now. Like it's been pretty good, yeah. And hostel life. So I'm not a hosteler, I'm a day scholar, as in I travel every day from home and go to college. I've been to the hostel a couple of times, many times, to like meet my friends. It's fine, I guess. I don't know, my hostel friends have to like vouch for that. I can't really say much about that. Yeah. And my friends, yeah, friends are pretty nice. Yeah, again, it's the same thing. You go, you meet a lot of people, totally up to you how you do it and stuff. So I'm the class rep in my class in college for my batch, and that's like a whole different experience. And a lot of people will tell you don't be the batch rep, and it totally depends on you if you are someone who's okay with taking responsibilities, because honestly being the class rep does have its advantages. People who are not the class rep don't know that, but yeah, it's equally a lot of responsibility too. But then I've never been afraid of taking up responsibility. Yeah, I've been quite used to taking up roles like this. Like ever since school I've been taking up some kind of roles and ending up being the school captain, so like I've been used to it. But there are times when you will need to manage it, but it's quite an experience. It's totally up to you if you want to go for it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you will tell you don't be the batch rep, it's too much of work. Okay, I'll move on to next question. Hi, how is MMC life? How will be the teaching staff and other clinical exposure? Also make an MMC campus tour. Okay, so campus tour is not obviously going to be possible now. Maybe sometime in the future I'll have to plan it and do it. Let's see. So about teaching staff and clinical exposure and stuff. Well, it is pretty good. That's MMC. Why MMC is MMC. It is pretty good. Like you have all sorts of teachers. Just like any other institution, there are different kinds of teacher. You just need to, there are people who like certain kinds of teacher or professors. We call them professors, not teachers. Teacher is in school, professors are in college. We don't call them teacher, yeah. And clinical exposure is excellent in MMC. Like you have tons of cases in MMC, and rarest of the rarest cases can be seen in our hospital, and it's like really good. So we have something called clinical postings, right, which starts from second year. Of course, a lot of people sometimes don't attend it and become so lazy. I can understand. I've also done that a bit, and you are, if you're going to join, you are also going to do that, no doubt. But then make use of it whenever you do go. I mean, definitely attend those. Like bunk like only few though, but don't like keep bunking them a lot. They are quite a good experience. And initially in second year, probably a lot of things like just go above your head and you won't get a thing. But then still go, because you get used to the terms and being used in the hospital, being used for certain cases, which later on when you know keep studying, you will realize you will grasp those concepts quite soon. So yeah, clinical exposure is excellent in MMC. It's like our government hospital, the main government hospital in Chennai, so of course. And teaching also, professors, everyone's pretty good. There are all different kinds of professors, you know what you like. But ultimately in college too, you have to do your own studying. Self-study is what eventually you have to do to get your concepts in, because like unlike school, not everything is going to be taught to you, right? There are important concepts, because medicine is vast, you have so much to study. So even classes will be focused on what's important, what's like what needs to be taught, right? But apart from that, you need to study on your own. But doesn't mean the professors don't teach or anything. They definitely teach you well. If you have doubts and stuff, they clear and stuff. Okay, similar question. How about teachers? Will they clear our doubts as if in school or only self-study? Okay, I love how everyone's calling them teachers. You know, you'll stop calling them teachers. Yeah, they will clear your doubts. In fact, you know, a lot of our professors are like that. They all, you know, have a question doubt session. They actually encourage you to ask questions, you know, because it becomes more of an interactive session. Because a lot of times I've noticed class becomes quite quiet and, you know, we're just listening. It does become boring. Although a lot of people do afraid, you know, oh my god, we're gonna get questions. Even I've been through that. But yeah, if you want to ask questions, professors are going to be like really happy, so please do that if you do. And yeah, it depends again on the professor's class. Some professors' classes are extremely like really good, interactive. You'll enjoy it, you'll want to like ask questions because you understand what's being taught. Some might be a little boring, you know, it totally depends. Again, it's like any other institution. You have a mix of professors, mix of types of classes. Some classes even the professor wants to get over with soon, even me want to get over with soon. Some classes are so interesting that you want to keep going, and yeah, that's how it is. Okay, next question. What are the rules and regulations to be strictly followed? Please tell about the hostel life. Again, hostel life, I can't say much. There was a similar question, I'll answer that in here too, like if there's a strict dress code or something. So any medical college, even hospital, they are supposed to be, they consider us to come in formal wear. Now for guys it's just pant and shirt, but then for girls, since we are in India, it has to be Indian formals. So Indian formals is again, you know, kurta, salwar, yeah, the traditional Indian outfit, yeah. And in first year we did have a lot of strict things like, you know, salwar, no leggings and all that. But I feel like it eventually faded off. It was fine. It's not a big deal. You get used to it. But then again, that's what we can't wear Western wear to college. It is Indian formals. Yeah, that is what it is. So I would really love to wear some really cool formal outfits when I become a doctor. I don't know. It's probably. We'll see when I become a doctor. But yeah, as of college life, in here you have to wear Indian formals. Yeah. In first year, you'll have a bit of, you know, strictness, because again, your first years, I mean, that's what I told myself, like probably because, you know, we are in first year, they were a little bit strict with us. But otherwise, later on, it totally became fine. Nobody actually cared. But again, yeah, we have to follow the basic dress code, which is Indian formals. Okay, next question. How do you study so much and also find time to do YouTube? By the way, I am a KV2 Army. Okay, KV2 is like my school, Kendriya Vidyalaya number 2 Tambaram. So hi. And how do you study so much and also find time to do YouTube? Well, it's all about managing your time. Like right now I'm so free because of the quarantine, lockdown and stuff. So that's why I find so much time to do like videos more regularly. But if you notice, during college time I'm not this regular on YouTube. I do YouTube only when I'm free or like when I need something to do, something other than studying or like a hobby, or when I need something, some kind of break for me. That's when I do YouTube. That's when I started YouTube. I like dancing and I needed a platform to do it. I created my own platform through my videos. That's why I started doing YouTube. So either way, and even I told my parents too, like studies is going to be my priority always, and like I've told myself, like if at all doing YouTube or dancing or anything at all affects my studies in any way, then I'm gonna stop that. So the balance, striking a balance is extremely important. For me, I keep my studies and my college priority at all times, and yeah, of course sometimes it can go up and down, whether it's important to like come back to it. Time management is important, have a timetable. Like I always do my covers or anything only on the weekends, not on like all days. And when I have exams, of course I don't do anything, totally focus on them. Then when there are final exams and stuff, that's not only me, I guess a lot of medical students do this. Like we all switch off our social media, deactivate our accounts and stuff. Like I do that. I did that even during my NEET preparation because I felt I needed that. But it's totally again up to you guys. If you feel there's no need to deactivate your accounts, or you are okay with managing your social media time and your study time, then kudos to you. You need to decide what you need to do because you know what's your schedule, what's your study pattern, how much your brain needs time, and how much time it takes for your brain to grasp concepts, or how much time it needs for it to study. Wow, I'm called brain them. Okay. Yeah. Basically, how I manage everything is have a timetable, proper schedule, a routine, and prioritize things. Like when I need to prioritize study, I do that. When there's, for example, a dance competition, I give it a little more time because it's a competition, it needs my time. When there's an exam, I give it more time. So that's how it is. Like it's not impossible to do everything. It's just that you need to think straight. You need to do it. That's all. And that's what I would say. A lot of people think medical students don't get time, or like it's extremely busy and a lot of studying. Yes, it is extremely busy. Yes, a lot of study. But then not like we have less time. Like we have 24 hours, we have entire year. There are times when you're extremely free being in medical college too. So yeah, being a medical student doesn't mean you can't do anything else. But you need to know what to prioritize at what time. Next question. How is teaching in MMC, and whether sports like athletics are allowed? So I've already told about teaching. Sports and athletics, yeah, of course. So I'm in my college basketball team and we have so many tournaments. There's like a tournament season where basically, so I'm in Tamil Nadu. We have something called TIMS, called Tamil Nadu Inter-Medical Sports Tournament, TIMS. Yeah, that is a tournament. So every year one college is chosen to host it, and it's an intermedical college tournament. So all over Tamil Nadu, all colleges can come and participate. That is one major event. Apart from that, you have individual colleges who have their tournament. So every college will have their own college fest. So our MMC College Fest, Inter College Fest is called Revivals. And sports, the sports tournament is called Encierro. So Revivals is for culturals and stuff, inter-college where other college people can come and participate. Encierro is only for sports where other colleges can come and participate. This is like hosted by MMC. Similarly, there are other colleges which host their own tournaments, and like other colleges go and participate. So like there's tons of tournaments for you guys to participate. You can do it in your own college tournaments. You can go do it in other college tournaments, and then there's TIMS. Okay, next question. Akash, share your experiences in medical school that fascinates us and interesting to learn so that we get motivated to study medicine. Okay. First of all, I hope whoever's aspiring to get into medicine, I hope you're already motivated because how are you studying then? Well, that's what I believe in. I believe that you can survive through medical college only if you want to be a doctor like from the bottom of your heart, because like there are times when you will be like, why did I come here, why did I even join this college, or like why am I in medicine? That's when you need to tell yourself, yeah, because you wanted to be a doctor, that's why. And the profession of being a doctor is like amazing, like you can't doubt that at all. So that has been the major motivating factor for me during my preparations for NEET, or every time during my exams and stuff. When I get demotivated, I just tell myself, it's okay, I'm gonna be a doctor, it's okay. And like when I see these medical doctor TV shows and K-dramas and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I might become as cool as them one day, so I need to study. Yeah, apart from that, fascinating things about medical college. Well, number one, dissection. And it might be two ways. Some people find it fascinating, some may find it disgusting, I don't know. Or some people found it disgusting in the beginning but then got used to it. But it definitely is one of the unique experiences, because not everybody gets to experience it. You know what another fascinating thing is? Not sleeping the entire night and still making it to the exam next day. Yeah, I have done that so many times. I did not know I could pull off an all-nighter and still go to an exam hall and write my exam. Like I've done that during my final exams, almost for every exam. Like chugging up coffee so much so that I would not fall asleep, and I would study everything, I mean, as much as I could, so that I could write my exam the next day. It's another fascinating experience. You will be surprised with yourselves with the things that you are capable of. I got some of these questions like, how hard and stressful is the MBBS curriculum, or can anyone survive in medicine? Okay, these are fun questions. Well, I can't rate the hard or stressfulness, but it is hard and stressful. But as long as you're determined to get through it, as long as you know why you came into medical college, you can get through it. It's totally fine. எப்படி படிப்பீங்க அக்கா, and say something about BTS, who is your bias, and everything important I want about preparations of NEET. Okay. எப்படி படிப்பீங்க means how do you study? Yeah, how do I study? I don't know how to answer that. Say something about BTS, who is your bias? Should I talk about BTS here? Okay, I'll just answer your question. My BTS bias is Jimin, Park Jimin, and but I love all of the members. They are unique in their own ways, and that's why I like BTS. And they help me a lot whenever I'm stressed out, or they're like a really nice break. In fact, K-pop is a really nice break. You need to find your break to get you through medicine. Everything important about NEET preparations. There was another similar question on NEET. How did you prepare physics for NEET? How much hours a day will you study? What are the departments in medical college? Okay, so many questions. Well, with respect to NEET preparations, I guess a lot of you are curious about, again, in that too, I think everybody has a unique way of studying, unique way of preparing, so find your own way to prepare. But if I were to tell you how I studied, or in any way if it would help you, I focused a lot on solving a lot of question papers, because they give you an idea of what kind of questions to expect. So when you go and write the NEET paper, the pattern of questions or the way you write, you become used to it. It's not like completely new to you, because you're already so used to solving a lot of question papers. It's like any other mock NEET, but this time it's real, of course. And how did you study physics? Well, physics, of course, a lot of numericals, and well, in general for NEET preparations, I would say get your basic concepts right. So if you are in your 11th and 12th standard right now, study properly in your school. Get your basic foundation concepts, what you are taught in school or from your NCERT books. Get your concepts cleared so you don't have to worry about that. Then specifically for NEET, get a lot of questions for like physics. Get a lot of, like, probably get a book which has like set of questions from NEET or like from competitive exams. There are many books like that. You can just find them. There are books which also give you solutions. You can get those books and practice as many questions as possible. Before that, if your concepts are clear, then you wouldn't have issues with this. And then you, as many numericals, as many questions you practice, you get used to it, and it becomes really easy. So why I say do questions from the question paper is, when you like just read the question paper even before you study, like you get the idea, like these are the topics that are usually covered in this, and when you study you can filter and study that way, because you have a lot of things to study. It's difficult to like cover everything. It's impractical to cover everything and go for the exam. So it's always to like work smart in that way, filter or prioritize certain things you need to study first, and then as it goes down, as the weightage of each chapter or topic goes down, you can study that accordingly. Always give time for revision. Don't keep studying till the last minute, that you have certain chapters still you need to study last minute. Try to complete whatever you have in mind at least like a month before the exam. Yeah, I know it's a lot, but if you keep that as a goal, you will be able to achieve it. And then give the last month or last whatever time you have given to solve as many questions as possible. I'll tell you, solving question papers really helps a lot. Really helps a lot. Part of this question was what are the departments in medical college. So let me give you guys an overview, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are curious. We have first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and fifth year, which is for internship. So fourth year is the final year, and third year we call it pre-final year. I'm currently in third year, which is pre-final year. First year you have 3 subjects: anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. These are called non-clinical subjects, and in first year you don't have to go for clinical postings, as in you don't go to the hospital for anything. All your classes are in your college, and you have practicals, which is in the practicals lab, and anatomy you'll have dissection. In second year, currently you have 4 subjects: pathology, microbiology, pharmacology, and forensic medicine. Third year, the subjects you have are again 3, which is ENT or otorhinolaryngology, which is your ENT simplified ear, nose, throat, and you have ophthalmology, which deals with your eye, and you have SPM, social and preventive medicine or community medicine. In final year, you have 4 subjects: general medicine, general surgery, pediatrics, and obstetrics and gynecology. Yeah. Then about clinical postings. Clinical postings start from your second year. Basically, you are allotted to different departments batch wise, and you go to these departments, spend a week or 2 or like 6 weeks perhaps in some subjects in some departments, and you attend the OPD, outpatient department, you attend surgeries, and ward postings where you go to the ward, and you will be learning in clinical postings too. That is, from second year you will have postings in the morning and the classes in the evening, that is like from 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Yeah, that's how it works. After those 4 years is when you have 1 year of internship period, where you are again like posted to all of these departments, but then you work there, you intern there. Yeah, that's how all of the departments work. Hope it's like clear to all of you. And during the MBBS period is when you basically try out all the departments, and you can see, you know, which one piques your interest, which one you might try for your post-graduation and stuff. Yeah. Okay, another question which was there in several of my other videos, asked a few times, was why I don't speak in Tamil, or why I only speak in English or Hindi, or why don't you speak in Tamil? Well, so I am a multilingual, as in my mother tongue is Malayalam, my mom is Malayali, and my father is Tamilian, and I am from KV, Kendriya Vidyalaya, so one of my main subjects was Hindi, plus I have been in the north a lot because my father was in the military. I found it very comfortable to speak in Hindi. My parents also speak in Hindi at home because that's their common language. When they met each other, they used to speak in Hindi. So we have Hindi a lot in my home as well. I speak to my mom in Malayalam, I speak to my dad in Tamil, and both of them speak in Hindi. So you have to understand the amount of languages I have been exposed to ever since I was a kid. And English, because, well, school, and then everything's taught in English. Even in our college, everything's taught in English. So the reason why I don't use Tamil or any other language for that matter is because the way I'm able to explain or express myself so comfortably, I won't be able to do that in Tamil or Malayalam. My vocabulary in these languages is not that wide. There are words that I don't know which I might need to use, but I still don't know. And I can't speak so spontaneously in all these languages for a long time. I can speak these languages for normal conversation, like works pretty well. I'm pretty good at these languages, but not enough to like give a speech or like participate in a debate with these languages or speak to you guys for so long. So that's the reason I use English more, and also to reach a wider audience. And just for fun's sake, if you guys want me to try, this is how it would look if my YouTube channel was in Tamil. வணக்கம் எல்லாருக்கும், என்னோட பேர் ரியா ராஜ்குமார். என்னோட யூடியூப் சேனலுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் வெல்கம். அண்ட் எனக்கு கேபாப் அண்ட் டான்ஸ் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். அண்ட் என்னோட யூடியூப் சேனலில் நான் என்னோட மெடிக்கல் காலேஜ் லைஃப் பற்றி எல்லாமே ஷேர் பண்ணுறவங்க கூட த்ரூ என்னோட vlogs அண்ட் வீடியோஸ். உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்குன்னா லைக் அண்ட் சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க. நன்றி. And if I were to do this in Malayalam, എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. എൻ്റെ പേര് റിയ രാജ്കുമാറാണ്. ഞാൻ ഒരു മെഡിക്കൽ കോളേജ് സ്റ്റുഡൻ്റ് ആണ്. തേർഡ് ഇയറിലാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ പഠിക്കുന്നത്. ആൻഡ് എനിക്ക് ഡാൻസ് ഒത്തിരി ഇഷ്ടമാണ്, എനിക്ക് കേപ്പോപ്പ് ഒത്തിരി ഇഷ്ടമാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ഡാൻസ് വീഡിയോസ് എൻ്റെ യൂട്യൂബ് ചാനലിൽ ഇടാറുണ്ട് ആൻഡ് വ്ളോഗ്സും ഇടാറുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവർക്കും ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ യൂട്യൂബ് ചാനലിലും ലൈക്കും സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക. ആൻഡ് എല്ലാവർക്കും എൻ്റെ യൂട്യൂബ് ചാനലിനെ പറ്റി പറയുക. ലെറ്റ്സ് ട്രൈ ദിസ് ഇൻ ഹിന്ദി ഓൾസോ. हाय, सबका स्वागत है मेरे YouTube चैनल में. मेरा नाम रिया राजकुमार है और मुझे डांस और के-पॉप बहुत पसंद है, बेहद पसंद है. इसीलिए मैं अपने सारे डांस कवर्स, के-पॉप के डांस कवर्स और बाकी सारे डांस कवर्स अपने YouTube चैनल में डालती हूँ. मैं एक मेडिकल कॉलेज स्टूडेंट भी हूँ, तो मैं अपने मेडिकल कॉलेज लाइफ के बारे में भी वीडियोस और व्लॉग्स डालती हूँ. अगर आप सबको मेरे वीडियोस पसंद आए तो प्लीज कृपया लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और दूसरे लोगों को भी मेरे चैनल के बारे में बताइए. धन्यवाद. I don't know, most of you might be cringing about it. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. Well, there's another language that I've been learning but I can't say so much, so I'll just try. That is Korean. 안녕하세요. 저는 리아입니다. 저는 유튜브 채널에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 저는 이대생합니다. 저는 K-pop과 춤을 하는 것 좋아합니다. 이 채널에 라이크, 쉐어, 서브스크라이브 주세요. 감사합니다. Yeah, there was a question asking about research opportunities in MMC or like research opportunities while doing MBBS. So research is quite an integral part of being a medical student or in medicine as such. And yeah, so there are several opportunities for you to do research as a medical student itself. You can start at any year. And we have ICMR, which is Indian Council for Medical Research, which funds students for doing research. And apart from ICMR too, you can do your independent research and go to a lot of conferences and present your paper or get them published in different journals. Yeah, all the faculties are quite supportive of this. You just need to find your area, your field of interest and get a good topic and start your research. You can always do it. It's quite a good experience and is good for your CV as well. I'd also like to talk about the academic experiences, academic activities that you have, because it is also an integral part. Just like I said, there are cultural fests, sports fests, there are academic fests too. In MMC, the event is called Genesis. In other colleges, there are many. Again, these are all inter-college activities, intra-college activities, inter-batch activities where you can go and participate, and they are pretty good. Quizzes are an integral part because ever since I came to this college, I've seen people go crazy over quizzes. There are like so many quizzes on every other subject. In every conference you go, you will find a quiz competition. Okay, yeah, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I answered most of your questions and that they were fun and also informative and helped you guys in some way. Let me know how you guys liked the video and share it to those who might find it helpful. All the best to all those who are, aspiring to be doctors, get into a medical college. All the best, work hard, you will get through it. And also it's quite a tough time for all of us staying home, for those who are staying home and studying. So hang in there, you'll get through it, it'll be totally fine. Stay home, stay safe, and tell everyone around you to be safe and stay home. And if you guys would like more videos, let me know what I can do, and do share, like, subscribe to my channel so I can do more content, and keep supporting. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Annyeong.